This is page 5. This is the little party, La Petite Réunion. I don't speak French, so I don't know. This is the 4th etude in the book. There's a lot of numbers here. Common time or 4/4 time, no sharps or flats. And this etude has to do with a lot of parallel thirds. This is interesting. I thought these were supposed to be fairly easy etudes, but parallel thirds are one of the most difficult technical things to get in piano. There's a few, trill is one of them, parallel thirds is one of them, parallel sixths, but this is tackling parallel thirds. As far as that speed goes, that allegro thingy, well, forget that for now. Let's just cover the notes first. The right hand, when it comes in, you're starting out with these thirds, and I recommend when you start this play at legato, as legato as you can. You're here. Listen carefully to get the notes down at the same time. Try. And when you get to here and you got to come over here, pivot on the B and here. You can't hold both notes down, but you can hold one of them down. And again, pivot on the thumb. Like so, it's here. That's okay. And then you're doing it again. And then second line after the repeat sign, you're up here. Again, for now, play these legato as you can. Here, just lift up and move. Now here, you didn't play the same notes again, so watch it. Here you're doing the same notes, but not here. So pivot on the thumb. Same notes here. And then third line down, they want 2/4 all the way up. Okay. Not a great way of doing it, but it's part of the etude, so I recommend you just aim a finger and just keep your hand in that position. Use your wrist here. You go as slow as you gotta go, but that's just until you get to the top and you're doing that again. It's the last two measures of the third line. They want 1/5 on everything. I don't recommend it. It's just, even as an etude, I don't recommend it. It's not that hard to do if you can do this. It's the same idea as you're aiming one finger, you keep your hand in that position, you just use the wrist and you play it. Doesn't matter which finger you aim. I can aim the bottom one. I can aim the top. Whichever. I usually aim the melody note, so in this case it'd be the top. But it's just a really poor fingering in my opinion. I would prefer, now maybe that's part of the etude and that's what they want you to do. But it seems to me like you could finger this just like you do at the last two measures at the bottom. That's how I would actually finger it. So look at the last two measures at the bottom. Here, it's here, and now it's a 1/4. Here. And then a 1/5. And then a 2/5, 1/4. That's a much better fingering. Oh, I like that a lot. But it's here, and then it's a 2/5, 1/4, 1/5, 2/5. So I'm using 4 different fingers to cover this rather than just 2 fingers going chop, 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 chop. And this is a much better fingering, especially if you're going fast. And this is a fast piece eventually. So as far as I'm concerned, if you want to try fingering the third line that way, it's the same notes. Fine with me. I'm guessing they want you to use 1/5 as part of the etude to get that. Whatever. Let's go on. 4th line down, when the right hand comes in, you're here. You're just going up instead of down. And they want 4th finger on that. Don't know why exactly, but okay. And again, see, in my mind, 4th finger makes it harder because then you got to come down If you did just stayed there, you're in position to go on. And the last measure, the fourth line here, if I did 3-5, I'm in position to go on. But they want 2-4, all right. And then do that for a while. Then the next to the last line on the third measure where we're going up, watch this fingering. This isn't what you think it might be. It's starting here, and then for the eighth notes, it's here. And then it's a 1-2. And then a 1-3. This is kind of a standard fingering used a lot in parallel thirds for scales. If you're trying to practice scales, I don't practice scales in thirds like this. But the typical fingering would be something here, let's do a C major. And then I would do a 1-2. And then a 1-3. And then a 1-3. Type thing. Same thing going 1-2. So that's sort of what they're doing here. They're giving you alternate fingerings for these things, and that's kind of nice. So watch this. This fingering is fine, what they're doing. Other times when you get this passage, it's other fingerings. So that's what I'm saying. Be careful here. We want to use all the different fingerings they're showing us, I guess. And then you're doing more of what you were doing. Let's go down to the last line. Now here you're just doing that regular. Try and pivot on here as best you can. You don't have to hold it down the whole time, but just the idea is you're just going all the way up that way. And then finish it off. And the left hand, and then as far as I'm concerned, here you can adjust the fingering. This isn't part of the etude. This is the last two measures, first line. My tendency is to use thumb on that. And third finger here, and I like that better because now I can reach the C more easily in the next measure. If I use fourth finger, I can't reach that C. It's a little harder for me. And the right hand is busy here, so I don't want the left hand to have to think too much. So I prefer a thumb on the B. And then after the repeat sign, just legato here for now. It's just an F chord. And you do this, no big deal. Let's go down to the fourth line. Now the left hand gets some fun too. It's here. And they're saying 2-4. Not sure why, because I like 1-3, but okay, 2-4 if you want. And then do it again. Now here it is, you're staying there. That's not 2-4, it's 3-1. And then, because you're going to go back down. And here. Okay, and then going on is 2-1. And then you're back to what you were doing before. Try and put the hands together. Right now we're just going to go slow, and if you have to hesitate in places, that's okay, because we can work out the hesitations later. We want to get an idea of what's going on with the hands here. So we're just starting here nice and slow. 4, 1, 2. Rest, and you get this. After the repeat sign, up here. Not too bad, I hope. Let's jump down to the fourth line. Here. There, just a half note in the left hand. Lift that up on the third beat. Right there, when I play that, lift that left hand up. And again, lift the right hand up when I'm on the third beat. So. Here the hands are marrying each other. This is actually pretty easy. Here. Nice line. You're here. Something like that. So you work that out really, really, really slow and get rid of all the hesitations so you can play this, the beat goes on. And once you have that, then we can go back and we can add the articulation. Nice light hand or wrist staccato, depending on what you want to call it, but it's legato in the left hand. Don't come way up on this. Just come up just a little ways, because if you come up, you lose track of where you are and you start hitting wrong notes and stuff. Just a little bounce here. So. And then these are marcato marks, these wedges. It's short, it's like a staccato, but it's an accented. That's not, but these are. Not sforzando type, but an accent nevertheless. They're marked. It's an accent. And then we go on here. Both hands are legato. Try and lift out between these slurs as best you can in the right hand, and just play the left hand pretty much legato. These are staccato. Don't be coming way up high, just enough to get off the key. And I do this with curved fingers here, because when you put the fingers out here and try to do that, I find that more difficult. So I like to bring the hand in, so it's like the centrifugal force. When I'm doing this, I can do this easier if the hand is curved than the fingers are doing this. This is much harder. So I bring the fingers in when I do this. Here. You can't connect this. I have it slurred. Forget that. If I'm going to do this 1-1-5, there's no slurring there. I'm just playing it. I'm not going to worry about slurring. If I wanted it really to be that slurred, I'd finger it the way they finger at the bottom, because there I can slur it a little better. Now let's go on. Fourth line down. Here. It's slur. Yeah. The slurs are kind of built in here because you have to, because of the way it's fingered. Sforzando. Staccato. Again, staccato. It's a different fingering though. You get all these different practices at these different fingerings. This is good. You ought to be doing it in both hands. I mean, you can take this pattern and do it, just mirror it in the left hand. It doesn't matter what notes you use. You should practice it in both hands, but that's all right. I can do legato a little better. You don't have to go as fast as I've been going. Take it at your speed. Take it nice and slow, whatever it takes. Then you go back and add the dynamics. This is kind of both hands here, so we have to kind of consider this. Start out soft and you're going to crescendo there to there, and then this starts there and comes down. Softer as you come down. Do it again. Now marcato loud. Now Now you're going to start this out sforzando. That's the right hand. You don't have to do too much with the left hand, it'll do it. The problem here, I think there's an error in the music, is you come in here loud and then suddenly it's soft. I doubt that. In my opinion, you probably should decrescendo each time. You get this sforzando with a piano 2 beats later, I'd do it decrescendo there. To blend it into that soft. And then here, you're going to crescendo and then come down. So then crescendo. And again, each time. So it's here, you're loud. All of a sudden, apparently, I get louder. I'd end that fairly loud then. And then when you repeat your sforzando. Fourth line, you're soft. Now you're going to crescendo a little bit. Go up. See, you crescendo up to that. Now you crescendo again. Here you crescendo. Make sure you do these repeats when you play it. As far as the speed goes, allegro mono and troppo, is allegro but not too much. Sort of fast. Don't get carried away. Control and accuracy is more important. So it's going to have to be your allegro, but not too allegro. Get the idea? And they didn't give a metronome marking in this edition, so I don't really know what it. What is fast? 1, 2. Just fermata there so you can recover before we go on, and then you do the same speed. I didn't repeat it, but you repeat it. Now that's my allegro, but not too fast. But you don't have to go that fast. It's whatever can you do these. That's what it is. Leave it at that. If that's as fast as it is, that's great. Go with that. There's lots of recordings of these etudes available. You can go listen to somebody who can play it well, play it. I don't really study these etudes. I've studied them enough to get to know them enough to teach them, sort of, but not perform them. There's a difference. And so go listen to somebody who can actually play them and you'll get a better idea what they sound like. It's not so much what it sounds like to me, it's these technical things within it. Can you do these fingerings and these things that the etude is wanting you to learn or do? That's what's important.